Hello, my friends. Liberty Garden coming to you from the home gym. It was a good day today. Hit some good numbers. So, what am I going to talk to you about today? Well, let's ramble a little bit about advice for young men and women in their 20s. And this is a little bit of a response to some of the videos that have been circulating from down on YouTube, etc. But not exactly. It's kind of along the same lines. A little different take. So what do you do in your 20s? Well, assuming you went to high school and you graduated, you have a choice, right? What are you going to do right around the age of 18? Do you go to trade school, you go to college? Are you going to go travel the world, etc., right? Well, what are you going to do? You're going to go work for a couple of years and then go to school? You got many options at that age. I'm assuming that you're going to go through college or a trade school, right? So in your 20s, you got to focus on getting an education first and foremost, because that's going to be the basis for the rest of your life. If you're going to go get a trade. Electrician, plumber, something that's hard. HAVCs or the air conditioning guys, something that's hard that not many people want to go into, because those are the trades that pay the most. If you're going to go into education, go into a hard field, go into STEM, go into finance, go into engineering. Don't waste your time doing human resources or some other nonsense like that. Go into a good field, especially if you're male. Now, past that, what are you going to do with your life? Everybody gives you the advice to start saving for retirement, put money in the stock market, blah 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 blah. Your 401k, your this, and also that's all fine and dandy, but let's put things in perspective. And the things you first need, in my opinion, to make it throughout the rest of the life, give you a good foundation. First and foremost, get yourself a used, reliable vehicle, a small car, a small truck, something that's not going to be breaking, and if it breaks, you won't lose an arm and a leg. Something you can maintain yourself. Toyotas are excellent choices. Nissans are good choices. Something that's going to get you from here to there. Nothing fancy, nothing flashy. Forget about the sports car, all this nonsense that they tell you that you should get. It's all BS. Get yourself a good, reliable car. It says a lot to you. It says a lot about you, not to your peers, but to the people looking at you from the top. They say, "Oh, that kid's got a good head on his shoulders. He's not drowning in debt, driving a car he can't afford." That's what it says to somebody who's older. Another thing is, get yourself a small house, a plot in the city for you to build a house, a duplex. Get yourself a dwelling. And why do I say that? Everybody says, well, you gotta wait, rent, you don't know what you're gonna end up. Anchor yourself with a house. That's all there is to it. A house will freaking help you budget the rest of your life, because you gotta make that payment every month. And you're not gonna be squandering your money on stupid nonsense and vacations and stuff like that don't leave you anything. You get the rest of your life to vacation and do this. But right now, get yourself a little house, even if you're a little tight. A house that's gonna keep that's gonna be expensive at first. In 5 or 6 years, if it's a fixed rate, you won't even feel it, and you already have the house. Now, what kind of house you get? You get the best house, or the cheapest house in the best neighborhood in town that you can afford, at the cheapest fixed rate, and go from there. Okay, you don't have credit at 20, but if you have a solid job and you made your payments on your car, you should have enough to get yourself a decent rate. Shop around for a good rate, okay? And get a fixed rate. Don't get bamboozled into an arm or some other kind of variable rate. Get a fixed rate, okay? If it's a little high, you can later refinance it. But get yourself a place to live in your 20s. That's another thing. And if you can, also get yourself a small business. If you're an electrician, open up your own practice. If you're an accountant, open up your little side gig, etc. Get yourself a little business if you can. Later, if you have anything left, put a little bit of money away every year into a Roth IRA. $20,000 invested in your 20s, left alone until your 70s, will accumulate a lot more money than if you put the same amount of money when you're in your 40s. So just put it in there, and let it go to sleep. And go to sleep. Put it into a mutual fund that's like tracks the S&P, and go with that. And lastly, try to get married in your 20s. That's the best thing you can probably do, is get married in your 20s, have kids, have a wife, etc. Right? And you marry a young girl like you. Don't marry a baby mama with 3 kids from 3 different daddies. Too much baggage, too much drama. Marry a girl with a clean slate, because you're coming also with a clean slate. So go with that. Later in your 30s, if you've done things right in your 20s, in your 30s, you're on top of the world, basically. If you haven't accomplished everything they should have done in your 20s, accomplish that. Get a house. Focus on your house. You need a house. You need a house. You need a house. Don't delay that. Houses don't get any cheaper. Get a house, okay? Start raising a family. And this time, you got to get your house in a good part of town. Good schools. If your town sucks, move to another town. But remember, where your kids are raised is very important. You don't want them in a place surrounded by junkies and drug dealers. You want them in a good part of town. That will determine what kind of friendships they develop, everything. So always try to jump to the highest level you can. And then once you get established there, you get a little more equity, jump even higher. Okay? So that's something that you should keep in mind in your 30s. But that's pretty much it, folks. I think the best advice I can tell you is that when you're in your 20s, get yourself a dwelling. That's probably the most important thing, because that dwelling will only go up in value. It will be your shelter. You have a house to live, and you can always leverage that to get something else. That's the most important part. You can always leverage a little house to get something else. You can always rent it. You can always sell it and use the proceeds to invest in the down payment of 4 or 5 more investment properties down the line. So just try to get a house when you're in your 20s. That's paramount. So just keep that in mind. A car, a house, small business, some stocks you have money left, and get married and have kids, a lot of kids. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching, and I think that's all I got for you today. Oh, and if you're going to go to Disney, well, don't spend $10,000 in that fucking place. Until next time.